You are muted, SC, and the music's up pretty loud.
Shadow.
Man, that
Shadow
music is
steps,
drowning
we
me
move
out.
Hyde
Let's
Park,
see if I can fix
dojo,
that.
metaverse streets where the shadow steps.
Sorry, KO, didn't mean to blow your ears out there.
It's
It is Sunday. I
all
just
right.
wanted to make sure you were up.
I'm awake. I'm ready.
All right. How was your weekend?
Good. I think I trained 6 days in a row this week, so my body's feeling it today. So I'm ready to kick back and try to relax a little bit today. But
Very nice.
and then I got to take my niece out for the see the new Mario movie last night. So we had fun. I had fun taking her out to do that. And then, but you had a big weekend as well. How's your weekend?
Yeah, so we were on spring break. My wife has been traveling. She's going to be out of town for like 10, 12 days for a major show in Atlanta. And me and my son headed down for a couple days to see her. We didn't really get to see her much. She was working so much, but we got to take in we went to a Braves game. That was pretty cool. We went to the better game of the weekend. I saw they got crushed last night. But Friday's night game was fantastic. It was a pretty exciting sixth inning for sure. I think they had like 6 runs, like 3 home runs. So it was a pretty exciting game. So we had a lot of fun there. We got to watch a Sabres game on Thursday, not at a local bar because nobody would put it on, but we watched it on my son's phone and enjoyed that. And we had the place we were watching our game on the phone, there was Tampa Bay fans next to us. And we had just taken over first place from them. So that was fun. But that was about it. We just had a nice relaxing weekend. We went to the Coca-Cola World of Coke, which I've never been to before, and tasted more sodas than I would ever want to do again. Some of them were good, some of them were awful. But it was a good weekend. The weather was beautiful. I actually thought it was going to be a little bit cooler, so I didn't pack very well. So it was smoking hot. I don't know if it was the weather that was making me sweat or the traffic there. The traffic is horrendous.
Let's make sure sound is on. So Kiro Nikos is saying, oh, Boy Darn saying there's no sound.
Really? That's not good.
And Kiro is saying there's no sound. Boy Darn, can you hear me? Okay, Boy Darn says there is sound.
Okay, I'm hearing on my end. Let us
Kohler
know in
says
chat
all
if
good.
you're hearing us or if you're not. Hopefully it's on
Kiro,
your end
check
and
your-
not the ninjas.
Say, Kiro, check your volume. All right, sounds like everything's good.
Okay, perfect. Typically it would have been on us, but this time it's not, so I'm glad to hear that. You know how we start
Kiro's
Sundays,
messing with
and
us.
I just got in town yesterday, so didn't have as much time for setup as normal, and it's good to know things got off all right. Aside of the loud music. That's probably what it was, is that music came in so loud, everybody turned their volume down, and they couldn't hear us. Yeah. Well, we've got a special guest today, a fellow Buffalonian too, so always good to have someone from Buffalo on, Bills fans. And we're going to talk with Thomas Baia today, and he's with Fanatics, so he's very into the trading card atmosphere, or that ecosystem, so excited to hear from him today, and check that out. So
Yeah, you ready to jump in?
Yeah, do you have anything else before we bring Thomas on, and we'll get right into it here?
No, there's lots of Upland stuff, but we'll hit that after.
Cool.
So yeah, I think we're good.
All right. Without further ado, we'll bring on Thomas. Thomas, how are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing good. So you're coming into us not from Buffalo, actually. You're in Syracuse, correct? Or Rochester?
I'm in Rochester. Yeah, I grew up in Buffalo, a little north of Buffalo, about 40 minutes north. Went to school at St. Bonaventure, about an hour and 15 minutes south of Buffalo, and then ended up doing a master's at Cuse, and now we're in Rochester. So Western and in Central New York has pretty much been my entire life. So I love the snow. I can't get away from it.
I couldn't get away from it quick enough. I probably moved out of there about your age, where you are now. That cold was just too much. I don't know how people do it anymore. But so Rochester, have you been to Nick Tahoe's?
I haven't. I knew a bunch of people from St. Bonaventure or from the Rochester area, and I would always ask them the places to go, and everybody always says Nick Tahoe. So I haven't been yet. I know a couple of my buddies have, but I got to get over there. I know I've been told too many times that you got to go see Nick Tahoe's, and I haven't been there yet.
Yeah, they are famous for the garbage plate. We actually have a place here in Charlotte that has a garbage plate. I haven't had it. I haven't had one in, God, it's probably been 25, 30 years at least, probably longer. But Tahoe's has been around for a long time. And I used to go up to Rochester here and there. I had a friend that lived up that way. I used to go visit, and we'd hit that after hours usually. And it was always a good place to hit up. So good.
They're a little too good. Like I gotta like stop getting them. That's the problem. But I know some people don't like them. I'm like, dude, I gotta stop getting these things. But you get there and it's like, oh, it just sounds so good. And then, but it like some people look at it and they're like, why would I? Why would you? This is not a thing. Why would I eat this? I'm like, dude, you just gotta try it. I'm telling you, you just gotta try it. There's some places that definitely do it better than others.
Nice. Kale, have you ever had a
That's funny.
garbage plate? Do they have any of those in
No,
Tennessee? No.
nope. I have no clue.
Well, it sounds like you guys are rolling out of the snow finally. You guys have had some cold weather, I heard.
Yeah, it was a cold winter up here. We of course, like for me, like the way I look at it, because like I said, I've been here my whole life, so I get it. Like I expect the snow in December, I expect it in January, of course you expect it in February, but once March 1st hits and there's still snow, that's when I just get ticked. I'm like, all right, I'm about sick of this. But it happens every year. It'll be like the second week of March, you'll get like a 50-degree day, and you're like, I think we're out of it, but it's just a tease, and then another week and a half later, boom, you're getting another 6 inches of snow. That happened again this year, and I fall for it every single time. Every single time I fall for it, I'm like, all right, we're out of the snow, we're good, and then there it is a week and a half later. But I think we're
Psych.
finally out of it. Yeah, it's the worst. But now we have a bunch of rain. Like I'm looking at the forecast next week, it's just 80, 70, 75%, but good weather. It's like in the 70s, but it's all rain. So hopefully it holds off, and hopefully we can start to make the turn to the months that everybody loves to talk about around here. Dude, it's so great in the summer. Well, it's usually only around 3 or 4 months, but we
Yeah.
enjoy it while it's here.
Yeah, Buffalo was fantastic in the summer. I think everybody just packed so much into the 3 months that we had. And I made the mistake of buying a boat in Buffalo when I was like 18, right after I graduated college and or high school. And it was great for 3 months, but then it's in storage, for 9 of the months. So it was awful. Just a waste of money there. But it's definitely a
No,
fun
it
place in the
completely
summer.
is. I like using other people's boats. That's the best. Not
Yeah,
your own. Go out on other people's boats. That's the best.
yeah. They always say the your favorite days with the boat are the day you buy it and the day you sell it, and that is definitely true. I couldn't wait to get rid of mine. The maintenance and getting it worked on if you can't do the work yourself, it's very expensive, and it's definitely an expensive hobby. So, but speaking of hobbies, I guess we'll roll right into. So I know you're into the collectible cards and auctioning, and so I know you're in your 20s. What got you into collectibles?
So I was a little bit of a collector when I was young. First, second, third grade. I remember always going to Dave and Adams up in Buffalo, and always getting a pack of cards. But I was mainly into baseball and hockey cards. Hockey, like you said, it's so cold in the Western New York area. All there is to do is sports wise, pretty much is hockey, and maybe some kids play basketball. But I was always hockey,
Hmm.
so that was always my sport, but I really had no idea what I was doing, like collecting wise. Like I just had a binder. and you would put the cards in the sleeves, and there were um, three columns by 4 rows. So I would try to collect all the current sabers, and I would organize them like the lines that they were in. I'd have Briere and Drury and all the old sabers, and I would just organize them. None of them are worth like 2 cents. Like they are completely worthless cards. I had no idea what I was doing. And when I got the job at We the Hobby, I was like, "Mom, do you know where my old card collection ones are?" She's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, I still have them." And I looked at it, I'm like, "Yeah, I had no idea what I was doing." But so I wasn't really into it for, probably since, fourth or fifth grade. Um, but then I was just looking online for jobs, and I saw this in Rochester, and I was like, sports cards, huh? That's interesting. Okay, let's see what this is all about. And I've been completely shocked and surprised still, every single day, just how huge the industry is. It's unbelievable.
Very nice. So is your favorite sport hockey?
It probably varies on the season. Now that the Sabres are doing well, I can say that. I mean, I love watching football, obviously. I love watching baseball in the summer, but to play, hockey was the sport that I played the most. Like I said, it was probably 9 months of the year. I wish I got to play baseball more, but it was always so cold. But probably, I mean, I'll tell you, when hockey's played well, it's like I think it's the greatest sport to watch. Like you
Yeah,
watch those games in the Olympics, the Four Nations, even playoff hockey, which we'll finally get a taste of for the first time in what, 14 years. It'll be,
it's been a bit.
it's a when it's played well, it's my favorite sport to watch. It's so fantastic.
Who is your favorite Sabres players over the years? Because I saw a post up. It was actually last night when we got back. I was looking at posts, and somebody had up, who's your favorite player all time on the Sabres? Who was the best? And I know you're a lot younger than me, so I dated back to like Perot, Andrew Chuck, who actually I did not see his name on the list from anybody, but he's one of the top goal scorers in the NHL all time. He actually had more goals than Gilbert Perot. And Hasek, goalie Hasek was amazing too. But who would you throw in there as your favorite?
So when I was growing up, I loved Afenagenoff, the speedster. I always loved him. I loved Thomas Vanek, probably just because of the name, us sharing a first name. I loved him, and then I always had a love for Pominville as well.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. I don't remember what year it was when we lost Briere and Drury, because I do remember them, but obviously they both left in free agency. But probably that would be my top three. Was probably Vanek, Afenagenoff, and then
Hmm.
Pominville.
Nice.
I always loved Pominville.
I guess McGillney. I guess you got to throw his name in the hat too. He was amazing. Yeah, we had some good players. It's good to see him back in the spotlight. It's exciting because it has been quite a while. And Buffalo, the Sabres, hockey has been my favorite sport pretty much my whole life, other than martial arts, obviously. And as a kid, I lived in Grand Island for a short time, and I had Lindy Ruff's girlfriend at the time was my babysitter when I was a kid, and I've always loved Lindy Ruff, and him and Dave Andrewchuk and Larry Playfair all lived in a house together on the island, and I remember seeing Lindy Ruff had a 6 foot trophy that he had, and it was for the most penalty minutes for fights in a year. And I was probably like maybe 10, 11 years old, and I remember seeing that, and it was like so cool, 6 foot trophy, and it was for the most penalty minutes in fights. I thought that was pretty cool. But they were a cool group of guys. I always loved the hockey players. I feel like out of all the sports in the Buffalo area where I grew up, they were. I felt like the most friendly of the sports, the sports guys. They got out there and they would interact a little bit more. I think the Bills are kind of like that now. I know Allen and a lot of the new guys, Knox, they're pretty friendly with the community, but it always seemed like the hockey players were a little more down to earth, in my opinion.
I think that there's a lot of truth to that. I think hockey players are just, for whatever reason, are just more salt to the earth people. But like my grandpa, like he owned a car dealership, and he used to sell cars to like Fred Stanfield, who he was friends with back in the day, and he sold some cars to Danny Gare. And I
Mm.
remember like we somehow got invited. Like my grandpa just stayed friends with him. We got invited to a party, at like a Fred Stanfield birthday party in Amherst, and me. My dad, my uncle went, and all these old Sabres were there, and they were like the night they were so nice. Like Danny Gare was there, just hanging out. It was super fun, and you're right, they're just complete, just down to earth people, super genuine, and always just super nice to talk to as well.
That's pretty cool. Danny Gare, that's going back a little ways. I remember the first program book I got at a Sabres game. I went to see the Sabres play the Bruins, I think it was, way back. And I remember seeing Danny Gare's, I had his pictures and autographs as a kid. I don't even know where that book is. I wish I still had that because that would be pretty cool to have.
We had a question from chat. How long is an NHL hockey season?
How long is it? Like
Yeah,
games wise? 82.
yeah,
82 games, and then yeah, 70 or 7 games, 7 rounds, excuse me, 7 games per round in the playoffs. So hopefully we get quite a few more than 82 games out of the Sabres.
Yeah.
nice.
We'll see if we finish
Now
in
you said you
first
start.
place. It's going to be close.
Now you said you started kind of collecting in younger as a kid. Do you still collect now? Have you continued that, or do you mainly just sell, or what do you do now?
A little bit, a little bit. I'm trying not to go too crazy because I know once I start, I'm just not going to be able to stop. So I'm trying to go slowly into. That's just how I am. I know it. I know myself. I know, like, if I start going on, streams and buying, I'm going to be like, this is, yeah, there goes, however much I'll spend on, some of these cool cards. But I do have a couple cards. And I've gotten over what's it been 7, 8 months since I've started working there. Like I have a Thurman Thomas autograph card, which is pretty cool. Someone gave me a Josh Doan rookie card, because he has been playing so well for the Sabres, which is fun. But so like a little bit, but not. I'm not quite there yet where I'm, going on streams and buying, and but I know a couple people do, and I know that once I start, it's going to be tough for me to stop because it's pretty cool. Like there's you know, some good ROI, honestly. If you can get, because you never know what's in these boxes. I mean, there could be $100,000 card in there. There could be $1 million card in there. It's unbelievable. So if I'm getting into the hobby a little bit, I just know that I'm gonna, keep spending to chase it. But once you hit big, you can, there's some life-changing cards for sure.
Yeah.
Hmm,
So are you
that is
more
pretty
into
cool.
the physical cards? Because I know they do have digital type cards now. I grew up with obviously the regular cards. We didn't have digital back in the day, and I still remember opening up my first pack. I think with the tops cards, and you open them up and you have your cards, and then there was that stick of bubble gum in there. So I can smell it right now just talking about it. Do they? I don't even know. Do they still have bubble gum in the cards, or is that not a thing anymore?
Not that I've seen. No, no, not really. No, now they're just straight up with the cards. But you talk about like the virtual ones. We do have a little bit of the virtual cards aspect, which is pretty cool, which is all through Fanatics. They call it instant rips.
Hmm.
So basically, there's all different packs. There's football packs, there's baseball, mixed sports, all the Pokemon. I know Pokemon's huge. I know nothing about the Pokemon cards, but I just know that there's some cards out there that are worth a ton of money. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable how much these Pokemon cards go for. I should get into it more because it's pretty fascinating. But basically, the way we do it on Fanatics, so it's called Instant Rips, and like I said, you buy these packs, and there's $50 packs, there's $75 packs, all the way up to $1,000 packs. And you look on the checklist, and there's your base cards. Like let's take the 100 football pack for example. There might be 30 cards that are worth between like, 30, $40. Those would be like your base cards. And then there's the chase cards, which are going to be worth more than $50. And then there's the grails, which are going to be could be worth, maybe a couple $100. So you're really, double or 3xing your money, for example. And what's cool about that, because it's all through Fanatics and it's all virtual, if you hit a cool card, you can say to Fanatics, okay, I want you to ship that card to me. That's pretty cool. That'll fit nicely into my personal collection, or PC as we call it.
Hmm.
Or if you don't really like it, Fanatics has like an instant buyback option, and you can bang sell it right back to Fanatics, and that money's right back into your account, which is super cool. So
That is
that's
cool.
something we have. we have a buyback for some of our cards. Obviously, it's not instant because it's human ran. We'll have you can reach out to like our buyback team, and we'll buy it back and all that stuff. So if you want like that quick cash option, but for Fanatics to have it instantaneously is a pretty cool thing.
That is a really cool feature.
That is really cool, actually. What is that right on the Fanatics website, or is there where do you do
Yeah.
that at?
So if you're on like the Fanatics Live app, um and you join in, it'll be like it's at the bottom, it'll be in your Fanatics collection account. And then it'll be in like your vault. And once it's there, you can click on that card that you got in the instant rip, and it'll tell you like what the value of it is, what they'll buy it back for. And if you want to do that, or you can say, ship it to me, and it'll be all right there. It's all right through right through the Fanatics live app. So this is where you'll find like all the shows, and you know, and then right at the bottom is now I don't have anything in here, but like this would be like full of cards that you've hit in the instant rip shows, which is super cool.
Huh.
And then if you pull the digital card, then you can request that they ship you the physical card.
Yep,
Is that did I
exactly.
hear
Yeah,
that right?
That's pretty cool.
100%. Yeah, so it's digital, like but it is a real card that Fanatics has.
Ah,
You'll just see like the digital version of it, but it's a real card. Like if you hit a you know, Jim Kelly rookie card, for example, and you're a Bills fan, you're like, dang, that's pretty cool. Maybe it wasn't a chase, maybe the value of it, maybe you spent, $50 and the value of it is $30. Um, you can you're like, oh, that fits into my personal collection, let's have them ship it to me. But if you're a Cleveland Browns fan, you probably have no interest in a Jim Kelly rookie card, so you can just sell it back to Fanatics, and it'll probably end up finding a home somewhere. And they're all graded too. That's the other thing with these instant rips. They're all graded cards, so they've all been sent to PSA, and they've all been graded, whether they're tens, nines, eights, whatever they are. So they're all graded, which is nice.
oh, that's pretty cool.
That that's awesome. I did not know that Fanatics had that system. That is really cool.
One of the guys in chat was asking, is this worldwide or is it just US based?
No, it's worldwide. You should be able to go on Fanatics Live anywhere in the world. I know, like for like us, we stream from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern time, and then from 6 p.m. Till 2 in the morning on our side. But when I tell people that, they're like, geez, that's crazy hours. Why the heck are you on camera till 2 o'clock in the morning? I'm like, well, it's 2 o'clock in the morning for us, but for people in California, or we have some people that watch us that live in Hawaii,
Mm-hmm.
which is great. So it's not, 2 o'clock in the morning for them. So it's pretty cool. A couple of our buyers in Hawaii, whenever they join in, I always challenge them to see who's got the better weather of the day. And so far, I have not won yet. So far, Hawaii is
Yeah.
kicking Buffalo's butt in terms of weather. But one of these days, I'm gonna get them. So, so that's kind of a game that me and one of the guys play that lives in Hawaii.
So KO, I'm thinking because we're both very competitive, ultra competitive, laid back but competitive. I think I think this is going to stem a competition. I'm thinking we buy some packs and we can open them up live on our stream and see who wins.
Pack battle.
Yeah, that could be
Yeah,
kind of cool. We'll do a ninja pack battle.
yeah, we might have to do that.
All right.
That would
We
be a lot of fun actually.
we have a retail shopper. Like I'll run down, just for when I'm walking in and out of work, and people will be in there, and the amount of times you'll see people 7 years old or people in their 50s, 60s, whatever, doing pack battles or box battles. It's unbelievable. Like it really is for anybody. The card collecting hobby. I mean, obviously there's, some products that are, crazy expensive for sure. But I mean, you can find, some pretty cool cards and, maybe not have to spend all that much.
Hmm. So does Fanatics host events? Because we actually have a TCG game that we are working on. We have a martial arts comic book series, and we've got a TCG game being built off of that storyline. And Is that something that Fanatics does with companies? If you have cards, to have a pack opening and competition or something?
I don't know about what they do with like specific companies. Like I know FanFest is big, which is in Chicago, I believe. Let me see what the day is on that. I want to say it was July.
Is that the one in
Let me
Knoxville?
see. This one's at the Javits Center in New York City.
Okay.
This is July 16th to the 19th. Okay, expanded to 4 days to align with the 2026 FIFA World Cup, it says, with the final
Okay.
weekend. And I mean, so many people are there. Like Tom Brady's there. He's tied in with Fanatics a lot. I think he was just on the Tonight Show talking about how he's opening up some shops all around. But Fanatics has like completely taken over the hobby, and they're taking it and running with it. Like for example, Tuesday is going to be like probably the biggest day in this industry in probably 10 years, because Tops just, which is owned by Fanatics, Tops bought the football license from Panini. So Panini was always the manufacturer of everything football. Tops didn't have it. They have basketball, they have baseball, but Panini owned the NFL in that sense. But Panini sold to Topps, and now Topps owns that, and they are completely like going to make a huge splash um with Topps Chrome that's coming out, and that'll be on Tuesday. And we'll send our group two people to PSA. So we do some events with PSA. So they'll be streaming right there on the Hudson River at PSA, New York City skyline in the back, and it's free grading too, because it's not free to grade cards, but if you buy into our breaks over at when we're at PSA, then you'll be able to have your if you hit a big card, it'll get graded, for free, and you'll probably get it back quicker. So Tuesday's gonna be a fun day.
Nice.
Nice.
The Fan Fest, actually, a good friend of mine that we've had on the show quite a few times is from Rochester. Gen X Jono is going to be at the Fan Fest. Quite a few of them actually speaking on Gen X type stuff. So I'll have to ask him about that. I don't know if he's at the one in New York or not. He's got a couple lined up.
I hope, I don't know. I've only been there, 8 months. July it'll be, just under a year when I've been there. So I don't know if I'll, be on the queue to go, but there's people that have been there a lot longer than me. But fingers crossed, I hope I will. I hope
Yeah.
I can, because it looks like just so much fun. I mean, there's collectors, there's I mean, it's a who's who of who's there, athletes, celebrities wise. It's unbelievable.
That's cool.
Hmm. So when you're doing these streams, are you like live opening packs and selling what you get in the packs, or are you selling pre cards that already been selected for the stream? Like how do the streams run?
Yeah, so it's the answer is both. So we have a couple different channels. So for our Wax channel, which I'm primarily on, Wax is like your typical opening up the cards and seeing what's in there, right? So that's usually what we'll do is we'll do a team auction. So people will bid, and okay, you win that spot, the random wheel spins, and you get whatever team the wheel lands on. Now, for football, for this year in football, you got to think everybody wants quarterbacks. Everybody wants rookie quarterbacks. So the big chases this year were the Titans, with Cam Ward, the
Mm,
Giants with Jackson Dart. You had the Browns, who had two with Shador and Dylan Gabriel. So those are your bigger chases. A year before, there was in 24 there was the Drake May chase. Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, JJ McCarthy, Michael Penix. Everybody wanted those cards. But basically, yeah, the wheel will spin, and you get whatever team it is. And then when we open up, the box, if I hit a Jackson Dart card and you had the Giants, that card is going to you. If you had the Bills and I hit a Max Harrison card, that card would go to you. So that's our traditional wax, probably more like what you would think. But then our repack show, which is pretty cool. We have a repack team that builds these 10 card breaks. So they put them in these nice little boxes, and there's different levels as to how valuable they are. So, for example, we'll do a break, where nine of the cards are between $2,000 and $4,000, and then your case hit is worth somewhere between 8,000 and 10,000. Just for example, we
Hmm.
have lower ones where your floor might be $100 to $200, and your case hit might be 600 to 800, and same exact thing, auction, spin the wheel, you get that team, and same thing, but this is only 10 cards, so you get 10 graded cards. And that's the one that we have our buyback option as well, but that's not instantaneous. It does take a couple days, but they're usually pretty quick.
What's the
Dang,
what's the
that's
best or
super cool.
most expensive card you've seen auctioned or been on an auction and seen pop out?
I think the most expensive one was a Drake May, which I don't love saying as a Bills fan, but it was. Let me see if I can find a picture of it.
He's from
It
Charlotte.
That's yeah, because he went to I know he went to UNC.
Yeah,
Is he from Charlotte?
he is
Is
from
that right?
Charlotte. Yeah, South Park.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Let me see if I can find it here. Here it is. I gotta fast forward it because they post videos of us, you know, opening the cards. But I think it's sold for like 40 or $50,000,
Wow,
something like that.
that's
Um,
crazy.
and I can promise you that the guy didn't spend, anywhere near that.
Yeah.
So I can
Shoot.
find this here. Here we go. They actually this product, they actually put like a diamond in the card,
Hmm.
which helps make it a little bit more money. But this is like a one of one. It's like kind of a crappy picture, but you can maybe see it.
Okay.
Let me see. Should I put it closer? Maybe that'll work. Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. So it's kind of
Okay.
like it's a one of one Drake May, and there's that diamond, and maybe like right off his shoulder, you can kind of see maybe it says one of one on there.
Okay.
I'm probably not doing the best job of showing it, but it's kind of hard with the light. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
we've hit what else have we had? That was cool. We had like a dual Peyton Manning and Eli Manning. They both
Oh.
signed it. That was really cool. But like they put like all sorts of crazy stuff in these cards. Like they'll put, game worn, patches from their jersey.
Hmm.
They'll put, something of their glove. I've seen like the button of like a hat be in there for like a baseball player,
Hmm.
which is
Hmm.
super cool. Like the things that they put in these cards, and people love it, and I think it's really cool too. But there's a lot of really interesting things that they're able to do with these cards. It's pretty incredible.
Have you ever seen anybody like on the live auctions, like somebody just going like bananas? They just draw something really cool and they just go crazy.
Oh yeah, yeah. We've had like in terms of like buyers or in terms of like us doing like the actual like
Yeah, I guess
opening.
like the bidders, the people buying.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, some people will, take down a couple squads, and they'll really be rewarded. Some people, spent, a good amount of money, on some of these products, and then we hit a pretty low numbered Ashton Genty card. That's one, things that make it more valuable. Some cards, out of there 99 of them, some of them there's 49, some of them, and then there's the one of ones, or sometimes they're to 10, whatever they are. But someone not that long ago hit a pretty low numbered Ashton Genty, which was pretty cool. Because each product has a case hit, the ones that you're chasing. Um, there's like color blasts, there's downtowns, there's whatever, and each product is different. And this was out of Panini Select. He had a pretty low number. I think it was like 4 of 7 astringenti. So that was pretty cool. But I'm like I said, I'm Tops is going to be just a whole different animal. Like Josh Allen is going to have a pretty cool shield, and me and my buddy were talking about it. We think it's going to be like a $200,000 card.
Wow.
It's just going to
Holy
be
crap.
unreal.
Yeah, I'd like to have
Yeah,
that
it's
card.
gonna, and I'm praying that I'm on stream when that card actually hits. Let me see if I can find a picture of. Oh yeah, this is like what it's gonna look like. This is like the Josh Allen one of one. I think it's a game use shield. Let me see. Can I get that?
Okay.
There we
That's
go.
pretty
Maybe
good.
that'll work.
Nice.
Yeah. So it says auto, and I think it's like a shield that gets game used from obviously that little spot on their jersey.
Hmm.
And they'll take a game used jersey and they'll they'll throw the that right in the card. But I think they did it based on like award winners. It was like it was the Allen MVP year, and then whoever won Rookie of the Year that year, Comeback Player of the Year, and stuff like that. They did like 8 of them or so. But it was on social media right, somewhere, but I don't know if I can find it just off the rip here. But yeah, it was pretty cool.
So, what do you think? Why do people get into collecting, in your opinion? Because I know you're around this day in and day out. Is it like the nostalgia? Are they in it for the money, or is it just like the thrill of opening up the cards? Seeing what you're going to get.
I think it's kind of it varies on the person, right? There are definitely people who strictly do it to try and make money, to flip it. And that's totally fine. You're allowed to do that. If you can buy a pack or buy a team for $100 and we hit you a card that's worth a couple thousand, that's pretty good ROI. That's not bad at all. So some people do that. But there are other people, you're more true collectors, I guess I'll call them, who will actually, want these cards and will, actually have like a collection that they'll show off to people, or, they'll go to card shows. And, it's like anything else. I love playing golf. I spend money on golf. I spend money on buying new clubs, new shoes, golf balls, a new bag, whatever. It's the same thing here. This is what they do. This is what they want to it's their hobby. That's what everybody says, this is, for the hobby. We're obviously, our company is We the Hobby, but that's what all of this is. It's pretty cool. So there's a lot of people that are in it for different reasons, but the true collectors is pretty cool because they send you, like, people send me pictures of their personal collection, and it's pretty awesome.
Hmm.
We have a few years back, we had a lot of people get into the Upland ecosystem with us and what we do at the Metaverse project with NFTs and all that stuff. And NFL PA came in with NFL Legit. So there were basically collectible cards, and people really went crazy over it. And, collecting these cards. And when they came out, I bought a ton too because I wanted to get as many Buffalo cards as possible and Josh Allen. And it was really exciting. And it's with NFLPA, it's not around anymore with what we do. But I remember how crazy people went over the collectible cards. It was really cool. And they were all digital. We still have them right now. We still have them, but there's not really a functionality. But have you seen a
Yeah,
lot
well,
of stuff like that where it comes in and is gone?
yeah, a little bit, depending on the product. I mean, sometimes products are, really hyped up, and you look and see what could be in here, and then you open it, and sometimes it's kind of a consensus like this maybe didn't live up to the hype. But then there's some that just come out of nowhere. You're like, wow, I didn't expect to find these cards in here. And especially this year was kind of crazy because, like I said, Panini lost the license,
Mm-hmm.
so they were kind of emptying the warehouse, so to speak. So they had this product, Panini Honors, which they hadn't come out with in like 4 or 5 years. But obviously, there's no point in them holding on to the cards anymore. They're not going to be able to sell them. So they threw a lot of them in this Panini Honors, and you were able to find stuff from like the early 2000s. Like we pulled a Randy Moss rookie card out of there, which
Wow.
is pretty cool. Like, why
Yeah.
would, out of 2025 Panini Honors, why are we finding a rookie Randy Moss? But they have it. They got to get rid of it, so they threw it all into this honors. So there's definitely stuff that more so stands like the time, but then there's some that are kind of talked about for a bit, and then the next week there's another release, and it's kind of sort of forgotten about for sure.
Mm-hmm. So, what do you think the future is of the collectible cards? Is it going to all go to digital over time, or do you think we'll always have like the physical cards? I always loved the physical cards. I still do. Those are my favorite. But what do you think long term?
I hope that it doesn't go fully digital. I think that's a nice little added bonus that we can do just with technology nowadays, like those Insta rips I was telling you,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is cool. That's nice for, a lot of people do like that, but I think people do enjoy, watching, us actually rip open the pack and opening it and, going through it and, hitting you a big card or stuff like that. Or people actually will do that themselves. They'll go into a hobby shop and actually rip open the pack. I think there is, that aspect to it. I know everybody always, technology's, taking everybody's jobs or whatever. I do think there is that connection that you can have with the people who are actually doing the ripping, doing, the opening packs and going through them and, seeing what there is. So I think it will continue to be that. I think people like watching, streams. I mean, today, during, Master Sunday, we're recording this on, but we'll have people that'll be watching the Masters too, and they're sitting there buying cards, sitting on their phone or computer buying cards, and they're, we're talking about it as it's going on live. Oh, Rory just hit it to 2 feet on three, and they'll be like, someone will say it in the chat, like, hey, you think Rory, like, well, like I watched the first half of the Bills Broncos game at work, and people, were of course chirping me because they knew I was a Bills fan and we weren't playing well. So, but that's like what a lot of people do. They'll be watching live sports and, still hanging out and buying cards. It's pretty cool.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's interesting because I know back when I got into TCG games, I think the first one I played was Magic the Gathering back in like the early '90s, and we would get together with a group when a new like pack was released, and we would buy a case of them, and we would sit down at a table. We'd have pizza party and drinks, and we would divvy out the cards and open up packs and trade them, and then start playing. And man, that was amazing. It was so much fun to do that in person, and so I still like that aspect of opening up the physical packs. And I guess with today's technology, you can play online, kind of like we're doing now, streaming way. It's really cool to have that technology to help us to be able to do stuff like that.
Oh, definitely. It's pretty cool. And like I said, I think there is, that human element that I think people do still like. And I think actually seeing the cards, you know, getting, ripped open and, seeing them, fan through and, seeing what the big hits are, I think people do still like that. And I hope so, selfishly, because, you know, I want to keep working there. So I hope it doesn't go fully virtual.
I think back when the NFT craze started, I just think people thought everything was going to go digital so fast, and I think that what we've realized is some of the stuff is cool. The game that we that we play is like 100% digital, and there's huge collectors in there, but people, and I can see it with myself too. I think people still love like the physical, tangible product that they can hang up on their wall, put in their binder, show off to their friends. So I don't think that the physical is going away. I think that there can be, like you said, some cool, maybe additional value or whatever that you can have digitally, but I think the physical product is still gonna trump the digital products. So
I agree 100%.
What would be your best
yeah.
advice? Like, so somebody getting into collectibles, trading cards, what would be your advice to someone that just kind of getting started out? I think at the beginning of the stream, you had mentioned, you were kind of collecting hockey cards and had no idea what you were doing. What would be your biggest advice?
Well, it depends on what your goal is. Remember, I was talking about, the two, different types of people, that will buy into breaks. Are you doing this because you think you can make money off of these cards, and that's what your goal is, or is your goal, to try and, get stuff for a personal collection? Are you trying to build that? Um, if you're trying to, do it for, the monetary aspect, um, I think just, reviewing the product, knowing the product, there's checklists for all of these. You can look up any product, 2025 tops chrome, for baseball and see, who's in this. So knowing the product, that's something I never did when I was collecting. So knowing, who signs in a certain product. Does Josh Allen sign in this? Does Aaron Judge sign in this, depending on, what sport it is. So knowing the product and then kind of knowing what, you know, these cards typically go for. And there's websites out there that you can use to see what certain cards go for, and then seeing, does it make, how much does it spike if I go and get this graded. If I grade this a PSA, it comes back a PSA 10, does how much will that, uptick it? If I grade it and it ends up being a 9, am I hurting myself a little bit here? Because not every card is worth going to get graded. Because if it comes back an 8, or a 7, it's probably not worth, the time or the money that you spend grading it. So I would say research, knowing, the product, knowing what can possibly come out, and then knowing how, based on what these cards could go for. A lot of times there's auctions that I mentioned, but there's also PYTs, pick your team. So these teams will be at a set price. So like the Giants, like I mentioned, because they have Jackson Dar, are going to be a huge, expensive team.
Mm.
The Bills, maybe not so much in a product with that's very rookie heavy, because Max Harrison, I hope he's a good player, but he's not so much of a chase as compared to, a rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
So sort of switch topics just a little bit. I see that Topps actually has like UFC trading cards. Do you see or do you know anything like is there a market for UFC cards? Um is there people into that? I mean, because that'd be more about the I don't I follow some NFL but very honestly just not a whole lot. I like golf. Um but UFC I have a lot more knowledge about and I follow that a lot more. So do you see a market with UFC cards?
There is, I know we have UFC like in our shop. I know we have some. I don't know what the price is on them, but I think actually, was it yesterday? It might have been yesterday where somebody, or 2 days ago, somebody came in and was like, hey, do you have Topps Chrome UFC? And we're like, yeah, we do. And they never ended up taking it down, but they did. They were interested. So I don't know much about UFC, but I know they've had. Let me see if I can find, like, there's like some big time names that will sign. Um, that will sign the cards, which is pretty cool. Let me see if I can find the checklist and see if I can see who signs, because there's some pretty big names that even I recognize. Someone who's not even a UFC fan. Let me see if I can find it here. Yeah, like John
Yeah, because it
Jones, he signs.
wow,
Like a
that would be
card like
huge.
this would be pretty
Mm.
cool.
Very cool.
Oh man, that would be sick.
Yeah, that would be sweet. But yeah, just looking and seeing who, like, this is like if you go on like the checklist here, right? So you can, here we go. So you can scroll through, sorry, and see, what you can get. And then if I
Okay.
scroll down to here, like it'll show you, like I can go to autographs and see who signs.
Mm.
Um,
Uh,
so that's kind of what I was talking about, going and seeing, who, doing your research and knowing what's big. So here's like your Octagon, legends, and you would probably know more of these names, than me. But like here's like your Octagon Legends autographs. I can show that real quick. Again, you probably know these names. Oh, let me bring it over here.
Mm.
yes, I know all those names.
Yep. Oh, Bruce
Yeah,
Buffer.
so
Dang,
it's pretty cool.
that is pretty cool. Um, that actually gets me kind of hyped. I think I could see myself getting into that actually. That's pretty cool.
I
All
think
right.
they
So,
sell pretty good too. If there's, I think there is quite a bit of a UFC market. Sneaky too. Like I don't know how many people would expect there would be, but there's some pretty nice UFC buyers, which is cool.
so
All
KO, we
right.
have to do a competition then between the two of us. So, do we just put all these sports on a spin wheel to pick the category, and then we each just get a box pack or something and just go crazy and see who wins?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get a UFC pack either way. But yeah, I'll battle you and whatever. I'm down to compete in whatever.
All right. We will do
Let's
a
go for
spin
it.
wheel. We'll put a certain amount of sports on there, and we'll see what we're going to battle in.
It's
So
pretty
maybe
cool stuff. A
Thomas.
lot, like I said, a lot of people do the pack battles, which is fun.
Yeah. That sounds like a good time. We'll have to wager a
Nice.
steak or
Well,
something, or an IPA or whatever. A Guinness. We could wager a Guinness.
I'm down for Guinness.
There we go. All right, we're
uh,
definitely gonna do that on a future stream soon here.
I, li- I like that. Maybe if Thomas is willing, he can come be the referee and
Keep the
let
count.
us know who wins.
Yeah,
I can do that. I can do
that
that.
that would be really cool,
One thing
actually.
that's one thing that's cool too, if you think about it. So, like, if you were to open up, like, let's just take like a football rookie one, for example, and we were to, go through it, and maybe right away, I would say, this pack is better, but the way I'd like kind of describe, like the sports card world is it's kind of like sports mixed with like the stock market in a sense. Because depending on how good the players
Hmm.
are playing, obviously it depends on how expensive the cards are, obviously. So if you go back to like 2018, like Josh Allen's draft, everybody was chasing the Browns with Baker, the Jets with Sam Darnold, the Bills with Josh Allen, Cardinals with Josh Rosen, and then the Ravens with Lamar Jackson. Everybody wanted those teams and those breaks. Well, fast forward, a couple years, if you bought a ton of Josh Allen's cards, you're probably sitting pretty. If you bought, Baker Mayfield cards, they probably weren't looking great for a bit. I mean, he was the practice squad defensive end for the Panthers at one point. Like, he was kind of incredible. And now he's, playing well in Tampa, so his market shot back up. Sam Darnold was a backup. And until that year in Minnesota, his market was pretty down. And now obviously he just won the Super Bowl, so his market's back up. So that's kind of the
Hmm.
cool thing too, is, maybe right away on that, a pack battle that you guys do, who knows? I mean, if depending on what sport you do, it could end up changing. One of these cards, someone could come out of nowhere and
Hmm.
really fly off, and that card can end up being worth more. So it's pretty cool how that works. So everyone's always asking, when they buy into, like, they hit a card and it's a rookie or whatever, and they'll be like, is this a hold? Do you think? Is this, should I sell it now? And it really depends on how much you believe in the player.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So what would a
That's pretty cool.
strategy be? Let's say let's say you buy 10 packs of cards. So, obviously everybody loves ripping them and, seeing what you got. But I guess the strategy could be not to open some packs too, possibly, and hold on to them for future.
You could. I would probably rip it open just to see what's in there, and then sleeve them, top load them up just to protect them,
Hmm.
and then just kind of wait and see. If you're, for baseball, for example, because some of these guys, it takes some years to get to the big leagues. Even though nowadays it seems like guys are coming up at 19, 20 years old,
Yeah.
but people buy these baseball prospects, and I mean, they'll wait years and years until they, not only make it to the big leagues, but start making all-star games and whatnot. But for football, it's pretty much right away, because guys get drafted and boom, they're there, they're starting, and they're so everyone's gonna want, like, the Raiders, for example. So I would say definitely open the pack, but you may have some ones that you want to hold. If you hit a you know, just for this year's draft, if you hit like a Ty Simpson card, he could, I mean, some people believe in him, some people don't. If he ends up playing really well, you're going to look like a genius. The Raiders, like I said, with Mendoza, everybody's going to go on to get their hands on a Fernando Mendoza card because he's, obviously the number one pick.
I know Wolf wants that card for sure. He's a huge Raiders fan.
If you get a low numbered Fernando Mendoza rookie card, gonna sell pretty good. That's I don't really know what it would go for. I mean, I have a guess depending on what it could be, but you'd probably be pretty happy.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, Thomas, where like where can people find you, or where can they watch your streams? What's the best way to follow you?
Yeah, if you're so on the Fanatics Live app or website, I've actually never done it on the computer. I'm just everything's on my phone, so I think that's how a lot of people watch is on their phones. But I think some people watch us at work, like on a separate browser, which is kind of cool. So that's kind of fun. But yeah, if you go on the Fanatics Live app, and up at the top, if you hit search and you type in "We the Hobby," and you go over to shows. We have all these different shows like our like right now I can you can see all of our shows there. There's that instant rips that I think we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
They're live right now. I think that's baseball up there, which is cool. Or is our football? There's like our football channel, which is live right now. So it's all right there. It's like if I were to even join right now, you know here's them right now. They're running, an auction. There's the box of cards on the table. They're running an auction. People are taking down. This one's actually a player auction. So everybody everybody just bids. This actually should go pretty quick here. We should be able to see one. So I think someone just hit like Jaden Higgins for the wide receiver for the Texans. So
Mm.
any Jaden Higgins card that comes out, there you go. That's your card. So
Wow.
this one's pretty cool. The player auctions are a lot of fun. They're long because there's a lot of players on the checklist.
Okay.
So here's like the random wheel.
Hmm.
There's the wheel that spins.
Trevor
Trevor
Lawrence,
Lawrence.
Jacksonville.
Bang. There you go. So now whoever just won that spot, any Trevor Lawrence card that comes out, it's yours.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's fun, man. Yeah.
It's super cool.
All right. So we'll have to. I'll be downloading that app today
Yeah, for sure.
One
and
thing
checking
that's
that
cool
out. That's
too
cool.
that we one thing that's cool that we have too is we've been starting to do helmets, like real sized NFL helmets. Um, and we've done them a couple different ways. We've done like helmet random, so they're like $29 a spot. You take it down, once 32 spots go, it's filled. We hit randomize, you get a random NFL team, and we open that helmet and it's yours. We'll do divisionals, a random divisional, so you'll get a whole division. So if you get the AFC East, you get the Bills, the Patriots, Dolphins, and Jets, and so on. So that's pretty fun. So you get a crack at four teams,
Hmm.
but it's one helmet. Like these are some of the. Let me see if I can find a pretty cool helmet that we fit. This was like a Drew Brees helmet, which was sweet. So I can and
Oh,
it's like
cool.
a real sized autographed helmet, which is awesome. Um, I fit a Justin Herbert, autographed helmet, which is super cool.
Dang.
Wow.
So I mean, and they're real, and so like I said, Fanatics is owning everything now, and they're very tight with Tom Brady. So we got a case of 100 helmets off the truck, and they're guaranteed at least two of them are Tom Brady helmets.
Oh,
And
wow.
there's actually three opportunities with Brady. You could find a Patriots Brady, a Bucks Brady, and then he also signs a Raiders helmet because he's technically an owner of the Raiders. So he actually has a Raiders signed helmet, which is kind of fun.
I
So
did
you
not know
have
that.
two of them are guaranteed to be Tom Brady signed helmets, which is pretty cool.
That's pretty
You
cool.
got
I
some
didn't know
cool
he
things
was a
going
part
there,
owner
man.
of the Raiders. Yeah. Have you ever seen Brady play in a game, like in person? Either of you guys?
I
My
not.
first Bills game ever was Brady was what 38-3 against us against the
Hmm.
Bills all time. My first ever Bills game was one of the three losses. It was like the 41-38 win
Hmm.
in Orchard Park. I think he threw like five picks. Fitzpatrick was our quarterback back then. That was my first ever Bills game, and that
Wow.
was that was pretty cool. I've seen him a couple times. He wasn't great that game, which was awesome, selfishly speaking. But I had seen him a couple times. He's incredible.
I've only seen him in one game, and it was actually when he was with Tampa Bay. We took a flight down to Tampa, me and my wife, and we went with some friends from Buffalo and met up and went to a Bills Tampa game, and it was a really good time. We did not win. It was a super close game. We lost by a couple
It was the
points, but
overtime loss, right?
it was, yeah, yeah, great game,
Yeah,
great time. Unfortunate that we lost it, but it is what it is. But that was the only game I've seen him play in person.
I remember that game. I do. I think Allen had like I don't know if he had like he had like an ankle injury, but he played through it and
Yeah,
ended up coming back. Yeah, I remember that.
yeah, it was a few years back. But man, I'll tell you, what's your favorite Bills game you've ever been to? Do you have a favorite one that kind of sticks out?
That one's up there, especially for it being the first. let's see. I can think of a couple least favorites. For sure. Let me tell you, there's a couple least favorites. Um, I mean, the Chiefs game at home when we beat them in the regular season, that was fun.
Yeah.
Kyle Williams' last game was super cool. That was against Miami. That one just had a pretty cool vibe to it. I mean, the last game at the stadium was really cool because my dad and I have had season tickets for the last couple of years, past 7, 8 years, and he was at the first ever game with his dad and then at that stadium, and then he was at the last ever game at that stadium with his son, which is a
Oh,
pretty cool thing. And they did like a whole stadium tribute, and it was that one, it wasn't much of a game. We played the Jets, and it was all the backups playing, and we stomped them. The game didn't really mean a whole lot, but that game was up there just because of all the emotions of people who have been going to that stadium for you know 50 years or
hmm.
however long it's been. That one's up there, but I just realized that's probably easier for me to think of some least favorite games. Like the Vikings game was bad when that stupid completed pass to Justin Jefferson, or
Hmm.
obviously
Yeah,
when
that was
Bass missed
rough.
the field goal against the Chiefs. I was there for that. Like there's the stupid Bengals game, the playoff game that we got stomped by Cincinnati. That game was my 21st birthday. It was
Oh
awful.
man.
It was the worst birthday present ever. Was the Bills getting stomped by Cincinnati? It was terrible. But there has been some good ones. There has been some good ones. The snow game against the Colts,
Hmm.
the infamous snow globe game. That one was fun. Couldn't even see the field. We ended up leaving because we literally couldn't see the ground. I'm like, this is not even. I can't see anything. So
Oh
we
man.
left for that. But there's been some fun memories in that stadium.
Yeah, it's a great environment to be in. Just being at that stadium, it's just a party. It's just a great time. And I went last year. I went to the whiteout game, which was actually one of my favorite atmospheres. The whole stadium, just the way it looked with all the whiteout, and it was a great environment. The energy was amazing. We didn't win that game unfortunately, but that was one of the games that me and Gen X Jono, we just happened to be in town for a Gen X event in Buffalo, and it was a great environment. It really was. I wish we would have won that game because it would have made it that much better. But it's just if you've never been to a game in Buffalo, the tailgating, the whole experience just is amazing. It really is.
Yeah, I tell people all the time. I'm like, I realize how spoiled I am as a Bills fan in terms of atmosphere.
Hmm.
Yeah, maybe not, the winning Super Bowls part, but hopefully that'll change. But in terms of just game day atmosphere, like I've been to a couple other stadiums, and I'm like, it doesn't even feel like there's a game going on today.
Yeah.
Like the only people that seem jacked up are the Bills fans that made the trip.
Right.
But I mean, you go to a Bills tailgate, it's like, holy smokes, this
Whole
is
different
fun.
energy. Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
I've never been to a game in Green Bay, and that's on my bucket list is to go to Green Bay and see a game.
They're there this year.
And yep, Buffalo is there, so I'm anxiously awaiting the schedule. Hopefully, it's not in the winter. I don't know if I could bear a game in the winter there. I have to dress really warm. But yeah, I did see that on the list this year, and I'm really excited about that. So I can't wait till the schedule actually comes out.
But my dad and I always look at like the road opponents just to see. Like we went to the Bills Saints
Hmm.
on Thanksgiving. That was fun. Go down to New Orleans for that. Um, we did Carolina this year because my uncle lives down in Charlotte area, so we went to that game. But we were looking, and I like the two ones that stuck out was they're in Vegas and they're in Green Bay, and my dad's like, I'd rather go to Green Bay just to
Heck
see
yeah.
that
Yep.
stadium. So I'm like, yeah, it's we gotta. I'm with you. I'm anxiously waiting the schedule too and seeing what month and what day that comes out. When do we know when the schedule release? We do, right? I don't know
I'm not even sure
what
when
the
it comes
exact
out.
day is.
I think it's
I'm
in
Let me
May
look
that
it
it's
up.
released.
May
the
is okay.
the game in Charlotte last year was amazing here. Buffalo destroyed them.
Yeah.
It wasn't much of a game, but the amount of people that were here from Buffalo in the tailgating, it was insane.
Oh, it was nuts. Yeah, I have some pictures from that tailgate. We were frying up wings and pizza
Hmm.
logs and typical Buffalo stuff. Yeah, this says yeah because they don't ever give like an exact date, but they said somewhere between like May 12th and May 14th. So we got about
Nice.
Yeah,
a
that's what
month
I'm
till
seeing.
that. So
We got to hang out at one of the parties here in Charlotte, where Eric Woods was. That was pretty cool. Got to meet him and get some pictures with the family, and that was really neat. I never got to meet him over the years, and that was the first time. So that was a pretty cool experience.
he's a good dude. I played like two or three holes of golf with him. He was at our course getting like a lesson, and
Hmm.
then they're like, "Do you want to go play a few holes?" And we were like, I was playing with our pro, and he just joined us for like two or three holes. He was super cool, super down to earth, genuine dude.
Yeah,
He was awesome.
yeah, yeah. He was definitely a really laid back, cool dude. All right, well, Kale, we'll have to set a date, and we will do I guess, unboxing or a battle. We'll do a pack battle. So we'll pick the sport. We'll figure it out. I don't know if we do like a spin wheel between a couple sports and do it that way, or if we want to just do a UFC one. Whatever your thoughts are on that, and then maybe
Yeah,
Thomas can come back and referee that. That would be pretty cool.
yeah, that would be fun. I'm definitely in.
We could do a couple pack
I'm
giveaways or
in.
something too.
I'm in. I'll tip if somebody ends up taking down one of those UFC boxes, I'll have to send you a picture of some of the hits that came out of it. Because we don't, like I said, we have a football channel, a basketball channel. We don't have a full UFC channel.
Hmm.
Um, But although my boss did just text me like last week, he was like, "Do you know anything about WWE or UFC?" I said, "I know nothing," and he said, "All good." So I think they're maybe our company is starting to maybe start to do some of that stuff, which would be which would be pretty cool. But
Nice.
I'll have to let you know if we end up doing some more UFC breaks, and if somebody takes down a box and we're able to rip that open, I'll let you know what we hit out of there.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah, please do. And if they, I think that definitely would capture people's attention, getting the UFC in there and other organizations as well, but like fight organizations and stuff. But I think that would definitely, I think there's a big crowd for it for sure.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
You know, what's actually huge is there's Disney cards, and there's even some SpongeBob cards that you would be shocked how much those things go for. Like
That's crazy.
it was like my second week of training, and I show up and I'm just sitting off to the side, kind of watching the streams. And next thing I know, they start pulling out like Disney cards. I'm like, this is the job, or we're talking about they're like there's two guys that are just talking about like Disney princesses for like 3 hours. I'm like, I know this is what we're doing. This is what, like, and he's like, dude, look up how much some of these cards go for. I'm like, holy smokes. Some of them like sell like really well actually, which is cool. But yeah, it's crazy. Like we just opened up an entertainment channel. They're doing like Star Wars cards and
Oh
all this
wow.
stuff. And there's like, and I'm not even the big Star Wars guy, but there's, like a one of one, whatever, fill in the blank. And they go for quite a bit of money. It's pretty cool. And they're signed by, whoever the actor was, which is cool. So there's some the card market's taken off. It's nuts. It started to pick up after I'd say got revitalized during COVID, and it's
Yeah,
just completely taken off since.
Okay. Oh, we got some people in chat actually in for a pack rip battle.
Bang.
yeah,
We're in.
we could make a whole stream for that.
Nobody tell
That'd be fun.
Slacko. We can't invite Slacko there. I see him in chat here today. No Slackos are out allowed. Well, cool. We'll definitely look at some dates and we'll connect with you. And we'd love to have you back and do a battle stream. That would be pretty cool, actually.
That'd be awesome.
So it looks like it might be a UFC. We got some people asking about UFC, so that's definitely our realm. That's our world. So that might be the go to there.
Yeah, and there's a lot of websites that you can use to like find like values of them, but honestly, if you just look on eBay, like look
Hmm.
up what the card is, and you can get a pretty good gauge on, what certain cards are worth. Obviously, lower numbered, the better.
Hmm.
And if you get any autographs, of course, that's always gonna, give a little uptick in value as well. And if you
Nice.
wanted, you could even send it into PSA, get it graded, and if it comes back pretty good, that'll be that'll up the value as well.
Nice. Well, I'll probably connect with you. And I've never hosted or done like a rip battle. So we had dance offs back in the day when I was a kid, but a rip battle I've never done. So this would be something new, something cool, and maybe pick your brain for some ideas. And maybe we'll do a giveaway, a pack giveaway, or a card giveaway, or something we can do right live on stream. That'd be a lot of fun.
That sounds awesome. Let me know when, and we'll make it happen.
Sounds good. Well, man, thanks for jumping on. It was great to have you on and put a face with the name and voice now. So, and I'm sure we'll probably see you at a future Bills game. I have a feeling. So I know we're coming back to town in Buffalo for a few games this year, and we've got our big Gen X event. So I'm hoping I can get your uncle to maybe travel back and partake in that. And I know we'll do I think we're going to do a Beef on Weck tour this year. We did wings last year, so we did wings with Duff's, and we had them out at the game. They cooked up all the wings for us at the tailgate, and we had a great time there, trying all the wings from the bottom level all the way up to the suicide or whatever it's called. It's not called suicide wing anymore, and that was a great experience. And I think this year we're going to go and kind of travel through Buffalo and do a beef on weck battle. So that'll be pretty cool. So we might get to hook up. I've got some cousins that might possibly meet us up in Buffalo from that area that are big Bills fans. So looking forward to that for sure. But we'll keep you guys posted on that. I know we've got some people that were asking about the Gen X event in chat as well. So we'll hook up with you.
That'd be fun. I'm trying to think of what places, like Charlie the Butcher, I know is big for beef on
Yeah.
weck. I know Barbell does a really solid beef on weck. I'm trying to think of where else is out
So
there that's kind of known for beef on weck.
there's a little place on Delaware Avenue that all the years I lived there, I've never been to, and it was right around the corner. Is Kelly's Corner or something like that?
Yeah,
They
I've heard
they
of
had
them
a
for wings. I've
massive,
never heard of them for beef on weck.
yeah,
Really?
they've got a piled
Wow.
high sandwich too, and the best. So over the years, the best in my opinion was the locker room, which is not there anymore. But I used to work at the locker room way back 80s, 90s, and they had the best beef on weck. They would carve it fresh right there at the bar and give you a sandwich, with the bun dipped in the au jus and a little horseradish. And oh man, it was the best. And I have never found anything yet to rival that. We had a close one. I was over at, oh man, we went to a place, I don't even remember the name of it, that had a good beef on weck. It was somewhere in North Tonawanda area, Tonawanda, somewhere in there. It was off the 290. And then, Gabriel's Gate.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Gabriel's Gate
Great.
actually
They have
had a
good
good
wings
beef
too.
on weck too. I haven't had the wings there yet. We did beef on weck for that one. You go back to Buffalo and alls we do is eat the whole time. I
Yeah.
had a beef on weck there after we had just left another place and had a beef on weck. So I didn't get to try the wings. I don't think I could have consumed any more food. It's crazy.
Most Buffalo thing I've ever heard is there's a thing called firecrackers. It's pizza logs, tossed in hot sauce, and you dip them in blue cheese.
Oh, I don't think I've had
It's
that.
the greatest. It's the greatest thing ever. And you wouldn't.
That
I
sounds
mean,
pretty good.
it's fantastic. I do it here when I make pizza logs at home. I'm like I'm doing it. This is, but they're. It's hard to stay, slim in Buffalo because the food is just so good. I mean, my family will come home for Christmas and they'll be like, "How is anybody around here like
Yeah.
in any sort of good health?" Because the food's not good for you, but it's so dang good, and you got to do it when you're there. Like you got to have it.
I've never had pizza logs yet.
Oh, they're awesome.
I have to
Pizza logs
try
are
that.
awesome.
That's got to go to the list too for the next trip up there. So I did they have
Wasn't
that new
Charlotte getting a
the steak
Wegmans soon?
sandwich. The steak sandwich, it's like a steak sandwich with a chicken finger on it.
Oh, Stinger.
Yeah, the stingers. I had that I think two
Yeah,
times ago when I was in Buffalo. That was pretty good. That was the first time I had that.
yeah, that's solid. Well, isn't Charlotte getting a Wegmans soon?
Yeah, it's coming very soon actually. Very
I was
soon.
gonna say, I keep hearing that it's coming. Everyone's saying it's got to be like right around the corner, right?
Yeah, it's not too far from where my academy is in the Ballantine area. But I think maybe a couple months. It's got to be coming pretty quick because they've been building that for a while, and I know they're already hiring for it. So it's got to be coming really close.
I mean, you can. I think that's where I go to get my pizza logs. I'm sure they'll have it down there. Is just in the frozen section. Go get the Wegmans pizza logs. They're solid.
Huh. We'll have to try those for sure. Very nice. All right. Well, we'll let you get out of here. We appreciate you jumping on and spending some time with us on this Sundays on Masters weekend. I'm sure you're excited to get back to the watching the Masters, and we will definitely connect for a future event, and we'll definitely do a UFC, I guess, battle. So you heard it here live. We
I'm
are doing a
excited for it.
UFC battle.
I'm excited for it. Let me know. Happy to come back on and see who had the better pack, and hopefully after that we'll see you either in Buffalo or Green Bay for a Bills game.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. All right, man. Well, have a great
Awesome, man.
weekend. Again, thanks for joining us today, and we will catch you on the next one.
All right, thanks guys. We'll see you soon.
All right, take care.
Later, Thomas. See you, man. All right, man. That was a cool conversation. That was fun.
Yeah, that was awesome. A whole different take on like collectibles and all that stuff, and yeah, exciting to hear from someone that's actually works within the industry and doing the auctions day to day. That was really cool. So I look forward to, man. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm actually really excited about doing a battle. Not because it's battling against you, but just the cards too. It's just an extra bonus. So I'm really excited about that.
I'm excited to battle you.
And then the winner gets the Guinness and they can pick the next battle, I guess. So, but I think UFC. What do you think? UFC battle?
I'm liking it. So I've been searching eBay here on like cards that have been selling on eBay, and looks like, I mean, it's definitely not doesn't look as large as like the baseball or NBA or NFL cards. Not as popular, but there's some $5,000 cards that have been sold.
Wow.
UFC cards, and yeah, there's a $4,000 Conor McGregor card here that was sold in February. Khabib card sold for $3,000 in March. So I mean, there's some interesting things going on here with the UFC cards. I could actually see myself getting into that. Like I said, I like NFL, but I just don't know if I like it enough to invest time and money into cards like that. But the UFC, I definitely could.
All right, Damo says
And I'd
the
like
loser has to jump onto a table, Buffalo style. I love it.
to.
Could do that at the Green Bay
Also,
game.
they're also calling you in chat,
Uh-oh.
SC Ripper
I see
for pack
Ripper.
ripping. Wolf Warner is Rip Warner. Boy Dern is Rip Dern.
Oh, we can get
That's
we can
pretty.
get T-shirts made for this.
That was pretty funny. No, I think we're onto something there. I think that some UFC battle.
Yeah, man. If you guys would like to
Uh,
be in the battle, let us know in chat. Who would be interested in doing a battle, or maybe we do this as like a ongoing series. We do. Me and KO can start it. We'll go 1-on-1 for the winner. We could do like a playoff bracket. Winner goes to the next round.
oh, there you go.
Yeah, we could do something really cool. That would be a lot of fun, actually.
Here, I pulled these up. You can share my screen here. Went to the Topps website.
Yeah, let me scroll over. Hold on a second.
A UAD versus Ninjas pack rip battle.
Ooh, I like that.
That could happen. That could go down. You got that screen share there?
Almost. I move things around. Why is this not? Oh, you still there?
I'm here.
Oh, phew. I thought I just knocked the whole screen down. Okay, there we are. That would have been bad. All right, let's get over to. There we go.
Explain what there, D-Zone?
Nope, that's not it. Hold on. Wrong screen. Hold on. We're going to get there. I promise. I promise. There we go. That's better.
Got our Backstreet Boys
I
song
saw
as
that.
well.
Snack Street Boys.
The Snack Street Boys, yeah. Which I did see.
Did you see that? Added to the top
See
of the
what?
screen.
Say what?
Did you not see the Snack Street up at the top of the screen today?
I did see them.
Okay.
I did see them. So yeah, it looks like here's the cards. They look pretty cool. And then you could buy. So right here, there's 4 cards per pack, 6 packs per box. So is that 24 cards?
Mm-hmm.
Look for exclusive USC glove refractor parallels. I don't know exactly what that means, but. And then there's a mega box here. You get 8 cards per pack, and there's 6 packs per box. Look for exclusive X-Fractors parallels. Looks like the mega box is sold out. Got some autographs. So Max Holloway. Man, I would love to get a Max Holloway card. I love Max Holloway, and
That would be awesome.
I get to train with his jiu-jitsu coach, Rylan Lazarus.
Yeah, did you hear the sad news actually about Ryland's brother passed away?
No, I did not hear that.
Yeah, I saw that the other day when I was traveling. Sad news.
That is sad.
But Ryland's
And could you imagine pulling this? Yeah, he is an incredible jiu-jitsu practitioner. Could you imagine pulling this Chuck Liddell card signed by him?
Yeah.
That would be freaking sick. That would be awesome. All right. This could be fun. Yeah, T-Wilk. I was just.
Damo, we didn't really give any big explanation. We're going to do like a rip pack battle. So we would buy packs and we would open them online against each other and do kind of a face-off of who got the better rips.
So I guess people would need to purchase their own packs.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'd have to set a date to make sure everyone can make that.
Wolf said he will skip a service structure, purchase 1 week, and buy a UFC pack.
Well, with that segue, we do have a few Upland things to quickly go over. You got a little bit of time, SC?
Yeah, I'm good. My wife is traveling, and I actually mustered up a little bit of energy to go do shopping last night, so I'm a step ahead. I do have a couple things I do need to do to get ready for the upcoming week. But we've got some time, so we'll get into some Upland stuff for the Upland community here and move over.
Yeah, I've got about 30 or 45 minutes. I could.
Yeah, let's see if we can knock it out in 30 minutes. Would be fantastic. 32 minutes.
Yeah. 32 minutes.
32.
All right. Hang on, I gotta refresh. All right. Well, a busy week in Upland,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of the streams have covered most of the news, so we can give our quick opinions on the week. Let's see. Starting with the gamified earnings. Actually, there is a bit of news here. First of all, the first 2 missions are to put up 10 Blossom Season ornaments and to put up 3 new service structures on 3 different properties. So have you completed those yet, SC?
I have not yet. So what did I miss? Which ones do we have to do? Sorry, I was typing.
Yeah, you got to put on 10 blossom ornaments, and if you have them, now I will say I waited, luckily, and I when I did my okay, so last week on stream I butchered Swirly's tool,
I
which he
remember
messaged
that.
me and
That was a
got that
massacre.
fixed. So a few days later I successfully reapplied all my ornaments with this tool, and that actually counted. I got the check mark for that mission because I got 10 blossom ornaments
Can we still
reapplied.
do that, or did I miss it?
No, you got till Tuesday morning, so
Okay.
I would knock that out today,
Yep.
and then three. You got to start 3 service structures on 3 different properties. So I
Okay, can
did
do
that as
that.
well.
We
Did
still have
that in
time
Hyde
for that
Park.
too.
So Tuesday.
Okay, for both of them. Perfect. That's 2. Can knock out quickly.
Now the season-long missions are no longer in effect, uh, because they are, I guess, recalibrating the algorithm for your residence and influence score.
Mm-hmm.
So let me see. This should be the right? I guess not.
For anybody that's watching right now that has no idea what we are talking about, because I know we transitioned here from cards and football and baseball and UFC stuff. This is a game that we play called Upland, and think of it as like Roblox for adults. So it's a property trading game and build stuff and sell stuff. So it's like real entrepreneurial. But that's kind of what we're getting into now.
I was trying to see where, because you had to increase your influence score and residence score by 1 for the whole season, but that is no longer in effect because of the recalibration. So now all you have to do is plant 1 seed. That replaces the season-long mission. If you plant 1 seed, then basically they'll give you a check mark for both those other missions. So that should be going live this week, and we should be able to plant seeds later this week.
Nice. Did I hear, was there a rumor, I read somewhere, that they are going to get rid of footprints possibly?
That was brought up actually thanks to the Creedmoor server. Let me pull that up. Let me finish. Let's finish going through this. Trying to stay focused here,
Sorry, I was
and
just
then
thinking of that.
we'll hit, because I guess X1 jumped into Upland general chat, the
That's what I
cafe
heard.
this week, and gave some tidbits. So maybe we can share some of those. Life arrives next week, which is this week. So this week we will be able to start to plant. And this image was the controversy this week. So just because of the footprint, we know it's not going to look like that right now. So I do think Upland is taking a look at possibly decreasing footprints. That is by word of mouth right now, no official announcement. Just in general, SC, I know that there's probably some kinks to work out and stuff like that. Are you thumbs up on life, in the middle, or thumbs down? What are you looking forward to it or not?
I am looking forward to it. Definitely am. I think it's going to be amazing. You know, it's gonna make everything look a lot better for sure to dress it up. I hope it's not like super time involved as far as like putting grass down and flowers and all that stuff. That would be my only negative, is if it does take a lot of time. I just don't have the time to be planting flowers, and I don't have time to plant flowers in real life and keep them alive, let alone upland. So, but I am looking forward to it. I think it's really going to dress it up and make it look nice. I just don't have a ton of time to do that. Now, if there's like a pool boy or a flower boy or a flower girl that can help set that stuff up, I'd be all up for recruiting someone to do that.
I am personally looking forward to it. I think that it's gonna make. I mean, just look at the map. Like, I think, okay, zooming in here, it's just gray, which I think we all kind of knew that's why they went gray with the properties. Because now it's gonna set a better like foundation to put the plants on. They'll be able to see them better. But I don't know. I mean, imagine this, or let's see. Let's go over here. We have a lot of residential buildings over here. Imagine this with just some cool yards, right? And trees and flowers and grass. I think overall, just the aesthetics, it's going to look cool. I guess my main, number one, how much stem is this going to cost us to keep these things alive? A lot of people are worried about the amount of work it's going to be. I'm not worried about that. There's going to be a feed all button, and then yeah, okay, we're gonna need to pet the plants or whatever. I don't think it's gonna be that crazy. And then the people that are all into troves,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna be going all through Hyde Park, petting all the plants, uh, you know, collecting the troves and stuff like that. So I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be as time intensive, and this is my opinion. I could be totally wrong and hate it next week.
Yeah.
But I just don't think it's gonna be as time intensive as people are making it out to be. That's my thought. So we'll see. I am curious, but because I did end up with 26 million stem, so that conversion was done this week, which was interesting. Um,
Oh, I didn't even look at that. I need to. I don't have as
so I
much
mean,
Protum as you did, I don't believe.
surely that's enough stem to keep me going for a while, right?
I would hope so.
I don't know, Alderian. I don't think there's gonna be a pet all button. I haven't heard of that, but a feed all button for stem that has been pretty sure verified by X1 that will be an option. Pet for Upix. I think Life brings in other revenue streams for people, feeding people's plants with stem. Maybe, hey, go pet all my plants for 10,000 Upix or something. I don't know.
Professional petters.
uh, all right, so I think this week a lot of questions will be answered with Life coming out this week. So
So, how does the snapping feature work then?
yes.
So it just snaps into place. Is that how it works?
Yeah, let's see if let's see. Let's see if it works with. Does it work with map assets yet, people? Uh,
So does snapping just mean it connects right next to the thing next to it? I guess.
yeah, look at that. Did you see that? So look, I bring it here, and it just snaps right next to it.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
boom.
Okay.
And then, but it just snapped to the edge of the property. You see that?
Oh, very cool.
So I can kind of like, boop, and it just.
Okay, I like that. I like that a lot.
Let me use this here. Snap.
That looks like quite the organized property there, KO.
Snap. Hey, it will be after this. Look at them. They're just snapping together. All right, that's pretty cool.
I like that a lot. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's gonna help big time. Nice. No more tedious turning. Yeah, super cool.
And shout out to, while we're on stream, to Umbrella Boy and I Am Redbeard. They had a lot of great information posted I saw over the weekend. I think it was in the Creedmoor server. So big shout out to those guys. They do so much, keeping, they just do so much research and help keep everybody kind of informed on what's changing, what's new, and their thought process and ideas.
I'm trying to. They're telling me to move the water tower, but it's not wanting to like turn.
You have to turn it.
No, they're saying it should auto do it.
Oh, I gotcha.
What am I doing wrong? Okay, it's got to be, I guess.
In the same format, like the same position.
Well, like, okay, I'm gonna make it a little crooked, and it just straightened it out. See that?
Oh, okay.
So I had it at like a 45 almost, or 90 degrees too far. Oh, now it did it.
Now it's doing it. Okay.
Wonder why I wouldn't do it from the side. Oh, there it goes again. Ah, okay, that's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's like a small. I don't know. I guess it's
a
pretty large.
small quality of
Yep.
life. I like it.
Yeah, small to medium quality of life improvement. So, very good. Love seeing that. You have to turn it once, and then it aligns automatically. Okay.
Hmm.
Sweet. Dun, 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 let's see. Program to stem is complete. Talked about that. The boat sale was a big sink.
Yeah, that was a flop.
A big old flop. That ship has sailed. Actually, right now you can register, which I'm gonna do. And I was first in line for a pilot house.
Mm.
So, I sold my yacht last boat sale, and I was looking forward to getting. Actually, I do want to have a boat for the future. I was first in line, and I got a big old psych. So I was not able to get the. And they were supposed to, I guess, do the maintenance in the middle of the night,
Yeah,
and
that
that
didn't
didn't work.
happen.
And then they said, okay, about a 1 hour or maintenance. I think they started that morning at like 9 or 10 a.m. Eastern time, and it barely got done in time before the sale. And then all the queue lines got messed up, so they just canceled the sale. That was not great. A lot of people were staying up late and making sure that they got their spots in line, and that was not overall very, very good. So, but get registered now, and the sale will be tomorrow at noon Eastern time. Yeah. So, and then here was the big controversy, not controversy, but just the big talking point this week: the community vote.
Mm-hmm.
The Sparklet vote incoming. So during the first quarter, I guess first let's go over this number. 1.9 million Sparklet has been spent on seed generation and uppy merges. That is 0.00 19%, so almost 0.002% of the entire Sparklet pool. Is that a lot? Is 1.9 million, is that a lot? Is that not a lot? You
I mean,
know,
it's a big number, but is it in the grand scheme of things? Is it a big number?
um, let's do some quick math. Let's say 10,000 daily active users. 1.9 million divided by 10,000 daily users. That's 190 Sparklet per player burnt over the quarter, which we know a lot of people weren't burning Sparklet. So, I mean, there's probably many players that have burnt between 200 and 1,000 Sparklet. I know I've probably burned, I'm probably in the 300 to 400 range that I've burnt this quarter. I've been very patient with it. If I did a few seeds when that first came out, and then I have merged some uppies. But I merged some uppies this week actually, and I was burning it between 12 and 36 or 38 Sparklet per merge. So I waited till it was pretty low. Let's see. They want to hear from us. What kind of proposal should be brought up with what to do with the Sparklet? There's burning the Sparklet. There's allocating it to incentives and reward pools for future redistribution, and there's other mechanisms that support long-term ecosystem growth. We'll put forward a proposal based on what we believe is the most beneficial path. The community will then have the opportunity to vote yes or no. If the proposal is approved, it will move forward. If not, we'll return to the drawing board, refine the approach, and bring a new proposal back for consideration. Before finalizing the proposal, we want to hear from you directly. So Uplanders, this is the time. This is the platform. Make sure you get on the UAD show, the Mint to Be show, the Too Stupid for Web3 show, and comment on Millens, YK 2012, and the Upland Revival, and get your opinions out there because they do want to hear from us. SC, what do you want to do with the Sparklet? What is your opinion?
All right, my opinion is let's just get rid of Sparklet, and then we don't have all these problems. No, so my thought process, I would like to see I'd be happy with a 50-50, honestly. So maybe only 50% is burned and 50% goes back into a community pool, and maybe they do some kind of contest or do it through giveaways or challenges or something. I would be cool with something like that. So it wouldn't be quite as much being burned, and it's also rewarding the community too for future challenges or different things that players are participating in.
Yeah, I'm not against a 50-50 split. Burn half and then put half into a pool used for giveaways in game, promotional stuff, which I did see a good point this week where a lot of people that receive free crypto end up just dumping it, and selling it. I've actually done that. I've received some drops before, and I really personally didn't care about the token, so I just sold it for what I got it, and So I don't know. I could see an issue with that. I could see the concerns with that. Yeah, it is 8 million. Okay, if so, Shaq's point of 8 million Sparklet per year. That's at the current rate.
Right.
What if what if Upland 10x's over the next 3 years? And that means 10x. There's probably going to be more sparklet burn mechanisms in the future. I'm sorry, spend, not burn. So what if instead of 2 million sparklet per quarter that we're spending, that's 20 million if we 10x the player base and 10x the you know, transactions. So now that's 20 million upix per quarter,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's going to be 80 million upix per year. Those are much different numbers.
Yeah.
Now you're talking about getting rid of, and although this article also says what to do with this particular 1.9 million upix sparklet, not this is what we're going to do from now on. Right, so I think that they're taking a very slow step here and just kind of, I think they're kind of testing the waters
Yeah.
and seeing what the community is feeling. Just,
I think that's a great
kind of
approach too.
just getting a pulse for what people are wanting to do. I've seen a ton of people wanting to burn it.
Yeah, Pigeon, exactly. Rewarding, the grinder. So if you're participating, so not just a giveaway, but it would go back to people that are participating in challenges or different upland player type events. That's where I was thinking. Okay, it sounds like TM was kind of on the same page as that too.
Same page as what, the 50
The
50
50
split?
50, it sounds like, yeah.
I think it would slow the burn down and then keep some in a pool that, yeah, could be used as rewards.
Man, put some into the racing league, maybe ration it out. So maybe a percentage goes to people that are, racing. Because people that are racing are grinding. They are racing, getting their times up, and then battling. Maybe put some kind of reward there for racing. Have it go into treasure hunting. There's, just maybe distribute it for different things. Maybe some of it goes into, winners from, the Blossom or whatever the season is, the decorating contests.
I like that for people that are playing the game that are
Mm-hmm.
involved. I treasure hunting. I think treasure hunting increase some sparklet rewards. Man,
Yeah.
if you just had Upland, if you had, I know it wouldn't make that much of a. Sorry, my brain's bouncing everywhere. Um, I know it's a small amount right now, vulgar, but I'm looking like if Upland scales up, it could add up over time. And then if there was a chance, if they put, okay, there's a chance for you to win 10,000 sparklet, right? And maybe one out of 100,000 chests, treasure hunting chests
Mm-hmm.
was 10,000 sparklet. That would motivate me to do a little more treasure hunting. Maybe I'll hit that 10,000 sparklet, right? You know, I was just spitting those numbers off the top of my head, so I don't know if that would be I don't know how many treasure hunts are done each week, but um, anyway, I think putting some more sparklet into the game and into the people that are grinding and playing, I think that could be fun. Once they stopped giving out Spark as a prize, racers racing every season drastically dropped. That's a good point. So yeah, I could see a 50-50. I've actually put all this information into ChatGPT, and I wanted to know what it thought was best for the community. And it actually came, literally I could show you the chat, and it came up with the best option being a 50-50 split.
Oh, really? Or they could
Yeah.
maybe they do 25% gets burned and then take the remaining 75% and cut that in half. Half of it gets dispersed in player contributed, like contests and activities. And then maybe the other 50% is held in a purse. And every quarter, they give that away, like a lottery system or something, to all the Upland players. So, like, one lucky player wins.
That's an interesting thought.
Or maybe for every activity. So not that, because I think it should go back to players that are actually doing stuff. So maybe 50% goes into like contests or activities where you get it, for those specific activities or contests. And then the other 50% goes into a prize pool, and like every activity that you've like competed in or took part in, maybe that gives you like a ticket into the drawing for that other amount. Like it gives you like a raffle ticket per se or something, and then they go into like a big giant like lotto spin wheel, and then whoever the winner is of that, they get that big chunk.
RDP, I'm cautious with ChatGPT. I put stuff in there to look for maybe just different viewpoints that I didn't think of. Just gets my brain thinking in different ways. I definitely don't take. I find lots of errors with ChatGPT,
Oh, a
especially with
ton.
math.
Yeah, it's
I've used it
awful.
for my business and stuff. So I do not take ChatGPT as the Bible. That's for sure. I just help it for creativity. Sometimes I'm not super creative. I need some help looking at things from different angles. Yeah, lots of different thoughts in chat. Kohler thinks burning undermines the stability and planning needed for future upland features. Shaq, that's funny. ChatGPT probably just finished talking to TM and regurgitated it to KO. I did not talk to TM. Yep, strong opinions on this. Then you got Millen. No, doesn't Upland change the value in game at minus? Yeah, so they cut our power down by 3x. So they do have the ability to adjust the power of Sparklet within game.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. All right, yeah. So definitely some strong opinions on this topic, which I knew there would be.
and and that's my thought too, is you knew it was going to be that way. There's going to be strong opinions one way or the other. So that's why I say if you go in half, you're maybe appeasing everybody.
Yeah, I also look at this step towards. This gets into the other topic of, and I think Idan coined it progressive decentralization,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, which I actually agree with, because how many decentralized networks out there have been super successful? Um, you know, I I kind of want I kind of think Upland making decisions right now, what's best for the company is best, and slowly it is super slow,
Yeah.
super slow, moving towards progressively decentralizing. I actually think is a smart play on Upland. I think some people will disagree with me on that, but from their business side, I do think I do understand it. I've seen that a lot of the crypto people want, just want the price of the coin to go up, and burning would help that. To LSAC's point, 1.9 million doesn't even make a dent. Probably
Mm-hmm.
really wouldn't affect price that much at this moment in time. If we start burning more amounts, that would. And a lot of the people focused on the game and Upland, more the gamer side, don't want to burn it. Shaq said it's possible that Upland will know what's actually best for the ecosystem. I'm kind of fine with a 50-50 split right now, and let's see how that goes. Let's see how the burn goes. Let's see how Upland uses the community pool. See if they
Mm-hmm.
use it in a way that we like, that the players like, and kind of go from there. If the price doubles, the in-game power changes, new players get the same experience in-game. That would be hoping that Upland does change the power of Sparklet in-game. They don't have to do that, but I would hope that if the price goes up drastically, that they would adjust the power of it. So any other thoughts here? I mean, this is a can of worms, and then until we get the votes out and know exactly what's going to happen, it's kind of hard to keep speculating. I guess I'm going to play a middle of the road path.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Let's burn half. Let's go community. Let's go put half in the community pool, and go from there. It is a minuscule amount right now, so it's kind of, I look at it as kind of an experiment for Upland, and let's see how it goes.
Okay, if you guys are on live with us, put in hashtag Fanatics for the giveaways today.
Real quick, shout out to people who have been on the show today. Jared Shaw, Dopest Crew, Shorty JS, Boy Dern, JH, Kohler, Wolf Warner in the house, Kafkaskatsi, Kiranikos, Giannis89, Cryogenics, Blue Rain, Batistu, Laban, Zen Mafia, Philippe, RDP, Alderian, Drifter in the house, Dzom, City Pigeon, Shactalin,
Guntasso, John Fitzwell,
Guntus, Fitzwell, T. Wilk,
Just Creatine. Is that Glizzy?
Reboot,
Got Bajo, Eva Angelina,
El Slacko, Metaverse Millen. What's up, Bajo? I think that was it for the Upland news. I have a little more. People are Upland General was going nuts this week. Like I do have my opinions about Upland and Sparklet and everything. I guess I'm just not like as worked up as some people.
No, definitely not. I mean,
um,
it's a
like I
game.
said, right now it's a minuscule amount, and let's just kind of experiment. Let's see what's going to be the best option, and figure out. We got a long way to go with that. Even if you disagree with the burn, like right now, that burn is very minuscule. It's not going to do much. I know people want to see their Sparklet bags go up, so I know that. I don't want mine to go down. We made a jump this week, I see, in the census, but then we dropped it back down.
Okay.
So we went up to 14th, and then East took us back over. I think last night
Damn it.
to head back into
Who's over in
14th.
East?
So I don't, to be
They're gonna
honest, I don't know.
cut their knees out from underneath them. Who is that?
I don't know who's building out in East, but they gained 120 residents last night.
Nice.
Oh, the node drafters. That thing, swirly,
Oh yeah,
super super cool. I can't wait for that website to get up. If you guys aren't following that on the UAD show, we all selected 10 nodes that are that Swirly has crafted this website to, man, take into like all the considerations for your neighborhood and give it like basically like a point system, and we'll see who drafted like the best neighborhood teams, node teams. So that's super cool idea. Um, and that's a lot of fun to follow. I think I need to make a few changes in my lineup. I need to take a look at that. I'm versing L Slack right now, so need to make sure I won my first battle, but then I lost my next two battles, so I need to
I won my
maybe
first
adjust a
one,
little bit.
and I haven't seen what I did the next two.
If you watch the UAD show from Friday night, they showed it all on that stream, so maybe you can go
I'll have
check
to
that out.
review that.
There were some people using the exchanges, Millen. I exclusively use the exchanges.
There was a ton of people using the exchanges.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess a lot of the people I frequently talk to. I definitely did not use the exchange. I have stuff on the exchange, but I'm still trying to figure out how to transfer it over.
you got it in your MetaMask?
No, I've
Hmm.
got it in Uniswap, so I'm halfway there.
You're halfway there. Halfway there. Yeah, I don't know else. Like, I'm feeling pretty good with my picks. Uh, had a couple people reach out. We got some plans. We're building. We're building. It's a long season. I think I'm gonna be just fine. I got confidence in my picks. So we'll see. We'll see.
Right.
I did disagree with the Sparklet sale, the 48-hour Sparklet sale, because
Yeah, that was
they
weird.
just told everybody they just moved everybody to the exchanges unless you want to pay the the extra fee, and then so now are people just not going to buy in the exchanges and just wait until there's another 48-hour sale?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was a weird move. So maybe they just needed some USD. Are they going to do that again? My guess would be yes. So maybe I don't know. It was an interesting move. Let's see how that plays out. Yeah, we know Wolf. You're 4-0 this far. Yeah, I know. That's the problem, Millen, is now people are going to just be waiting for the next flash sale.
Right. Yeah.
If they wanted more activity in the exchanges.
Shaq said she's playing no drafters like golf. Nice and low score.
It's funny. Well, hopefully that website is up in the next week or two, and then we'll pull that up and be able to take a detailed look at the everybody's picks and see how that's going.
Yeah, I have to pull up the UAD and check out where I'm at because I have no idea how I did. Just a reminder, guys,
Yeah.
hashtag Fanatics if you haven't put it in yet. Only put it in once. All right, and after this stream is done, if you guys could comment, we were talking about this the other day, and we're curious, from all of our listeners and viewers and subscribers, what do you guys like about the Hyde Park Ninjas? What draws you to our streams? What makes you keep coming back, or what makes you not want to come back? I guess, but drop that in the comments after the stream is done today, and anybody that comments on that criteria, we are going to do a giveaway next week. I'm going to be giving away 50K UPIX, and I'm also going to be giving away a pack of cards for the Fanatics battle we're going to do.
Oh, that's cool. Very cool.
So again, that's after the stream. Let us know, what draws you to the ninjas, why you like our streams, or why do you hate us? Why do you keep coming back? And
Or maybe another way to word it is like, what would you like to see more of, or what would you like to see less of? In streams.
Right, and the giveaways for today with the hashtag Fanatics is going to be, we have three different prizes that are going out, and that'll be 30K Upix for each winner.
Well, 10K epics for each winner.
30K split in three, I'm sorry. Yeah, 10, 10, 10.
Yeah.
Oh, who was our UFC winner last week?
Johnny Bones.
Oh, back on top, huh? Okay, Johnny Bones.
Yeah.
Has Johnny already
Bones.
been paid?
Johnny has not been paid.
Okay, we'll get Johnny set up. Did you get your picks in this week?
I did, with about 8 minutes to spare.
Nice.
And Jiri Prohashka messed up my main win for me last night. He had the win in the bag, and he got knocked out with a left hook by Olberg. That was crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Wolf said he needs a new T-shirt.
Need a new T-shirt.
Yeah, his wife wears it more than he does. Is that the black one, Wolf? Is that the mint one or the mint two? We actually have, these are the new ones. I don't know if you can see it on screen.
That's City Pigeon that you're talking about.
Oh, was that? Oh, City Pigeon. I'm sorry, not Wolf. Yeah, we've got the sweatshirts in the blue, and then we've also got the T-shirts. Yeah, my son keeps taking off with my black one. I love my black sweatshirt, and it's never around when I want to wear it.
Do you have any builds finished up this week, SC?
Builds? I did. Yeah, I had a townhouse finish up, and I had something else finish up too. I think it might have been a small coffee shop. I think those were the two. Oh, the mint 2 City Pigeon. I do not think we have any of those left. I think the things are sold out.
I might have a couple.
Let me check. I actually have. Let's see what I have here. What size was that pigeon? Medium. I do have an XL actually. I have one XL. No, actually, I'm sorry. I've got two XLs and I've got one double XL. And these are the gray ones too. We have the gray. Oh, hold on. The gray. Can you see it? There it is. That's the gray Hyde Park Ninjas. And these are the Mint 2. This was the Mint 2 shirt. This is the second year in Vegas that we had them. Wolf, make sure to drop that comment in after the stream is done. Put you in the running for the packs for next week. The pack we're going to give away, and also a 50K Upix as well.
Oh, and 50K. Big giveaway next week.
That's what KO's giving away anyways.
Oh, I got signed up.
I went all Crowley on you there.
Too funny. All right, well, you ready to give some stuff away?
Yeah, we'll give some stuff away. And are you ready for racing this week? We got racing qualifiers going on right now. I know we got. I'll be on the show live with Mass Chef tomorrow. Make sure to join us at 8:30, and that's 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be on that show on the MRN.
What kind of time do I need to get?
Ooh, I don't know. The times are pretty low.
So Batista's got a 140.
Ooh, I got knocked down.
This is the Northumberland. Is that right?
It is Northumberland. It's a fast track.
I need to get my time in today.
Ooh, I dropped a spot.
I need to get in the top 18. You're in the 12th spot there. It looks pretty strong. Although it's got to hold up through tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And you know some people are sandbagging until tonight or the morning.
Batistu and JR, they had some monster times on the board, man. Batista put up like a 220.
When it's only 9 seconds in between first and 18th.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty tight.
Yeah. I thought I had a decent time, but I'm sweating. I don't know if we're going to make it in.
I mean, that's pretty solid. You might need a low 144 though, just to make that. Well, top 18.
JH moved up from where he was. That's how, because I was at 11. It looks like I dropped down to 12. Glizzy's in there.
Yeah.
Batistu. Yeah, the racing is getting super competitive. And speaking of racing, I saw that the Vulgar crew dropped out.
Who dropped out now?
The UAD is not racing. They dropped out.
I did see that. You know, what do you expect from a bunch of pirates? I mean, just a bunch of not organized and.
I heard that one of the pirates was drinking too much rum, ran the car off the road, got a DUI, and can't race anymore.
That on top of just sour attitudes, you know. When have you seen a pirate with a good attitude? I mean, I think they were just sour after you know, maybe losing last season and just didn't have the perseverance to keep going. I don't know.
Yeah, City, I 100% agree with that. A time's a time, but once you're out on that track, once there's other cars out there and other competitors, it's a whole different world, as we've seen time and time again.
I was trying to find the leaderboard for the racing, not just this season, but all the seasons. I don't know where that announcement was, but I think I'm literally I think I'm 13th, and I think I got to be top 12 to make the Genesis finals.
Better get to work.
Bowed out gracefully. I did join because I know you helped out a team. Which team were you on?
Neo. Yeah,
gotcha.
Wander,
and then
we got Wander, Glizzy, and Batistu are on our team.
And then I some people reached out, and I'm helping out Recurrier on the Metaforce team. So it's me, Acroproppy, Cuddy
we're racing
Bo,
against
Boy,
each other?
And Boy Dern.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
You guys are going down.
So I jumped on their team. Just I committed to this season, and then I think SC and I think we're going to want to put together a ninja team for next year's season. So we'll put that together. But for now, yes, we are rivals for this season there, SC.
Yep. Yeah, John Fitzwell, that's a good point. There was some stuff going on with the secondary market. I was trying to purchase racing legits, racing potions or whatever. And every time I would go on to purchase, it would give me an error and it would say not available. I ended up with 10 of the one product. that I was buying because they
Oh,
kept
that's weird.
erroring, like it didn't purchase. And then I went back and looked at my UPIX, and I was like, "Holy cow, where did all that UPIX go?" And it was because I purchased like a bunch of the nitro fuel things.
Oh,
You know, sometimes it error like you don't have a property in that area, and it kept erroring on everything that I was doing. And then it turned out when I looked at my inventory, I had a bunch of stuff show up, and I had a bunch of UPIX missing. So there was definitely a glitch.
Elslack says his wife says you sound like Jason Kelsey.
Nice. I like Jason, and we have matching hats. Well, kind of matching. I got my Bills hat here. Jason Kelsey has the exact same one, but for the Philadelphia Eagles.
No, no cracks in the Matt Wolf. Just a temporary hiatus. Yeah, so here is the official championship racing leaderboard, and me and Ace are tied at 13th, and I think we got to get into the top 12. So
Wow.
I am motivated. I am motivated to do well this season. I would like to make that top 12. Going all the way down to Cuddy Bow and Acro Property, who I'm racing with this season. You got Foreskin, Tune, Vape, Betts, D6, and Funky. Me and Ace all fighting for that 12th spot, which I see anybody 35, 37, 40, 46, 48. So I think between 12th and 8th, I think we're kind of fighting for. So that's kind of my goal this season, is to
Yeah,
see if I
Trendy, I
can't.
think they do have stuff they're working on for the future, I'm sure. I know they do have a well thought out plan, it sounds like. That'd be a great question for Mass Chef for sure.
Upland Racing should have 2 divisions, a top and a second, each with 18 participants, and a promotion and relegation system for both individuals and teams based on performance. Yeah, so racing is getting pretty competitive. It's almost like, would you call it like an amateur and a pro league?
Pretty much, yeah. I'm sure that is in the works. I just knowing the people that are involved in, organizing it.
I would also love to see a karts league. I'd also like to see like an S4 league, like let's get more value to different cars in Upland.
I
Because
would
right
love
now
to see a
it's
cart one too. I think that'd be a fun one, just because of the obstacles and all the other stuff that go with it.
I think karts would be fun. I'd like to see like the 4s, 4Es, and 4Rs get some love. The 2s, the trucks. You do get into a lot of time. That's a lot of time to run multiple different
Yeah.
leagues and stuff. But if they're able to do it, that would be pretty sweet.
I wish they would bring the other one back too, the one with the racing, like where you're running on the track, like Lucille. Was it Track Hero or something like that? I'd like to see something, but
Yeah,
more like, I don't want to say like ninja oriented, but yes, like maybe. Did you ever play that game, Pitfall? Where you run with the character and you got to swing on the vines like Tarzan and you do different things. I'd like to see something that was kind of like that. Would be really cool.
you know what you should do is be able to take your uppie into a game.
Mm-hmm.
You should be able to say, okay, I want to do this. I guess like a track hero game, something like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah.
But you select which uppie you bring into the game, so you can like, okay, I want this uppie to play. So you can kind of select which one. That would be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
T. Wilk, not a huge fan of placing our assets afterwards. Trying to remember the names of purchases and scrolling through thousands of them to find them is not cool. At least make placeable assets its own tab. What was that in relation to?
I don't know. A dump truck league. I'd like to see that too. What about like a crash up derby? That would be a lot of fun.
Oh, that would be cool. I could get into that.
Oh yeah.
Shaq would like to see uppies being drawn to rare vehicles. Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. All right, so we've gone way over our time.
Yeah, I definitely got to cut it. I do have things that I need to be responsible with and get done here.
All right, let's give away some stuff.
All right. All right, we're going to do the giveaways again. Once this stream finishes today, just drop a comment and let us know, what you like the best about our show. If there's stuff that you want to see more of. We did talk a little bit today about we are going to be doing the battle. We're going to be doing a rip battle. So we had Thomas on from Fanatics today. And I think that's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll have more details. But hit us up in chat or in Discord or private message or text and let us know if you are interested in partaking in the rip battle. And I believe we are going to do this with UFC. And for next week, if you comment after this video on what you like best about the show or what you'd like to see more of, or if there's things you don't want to see, let us know. And anybody that does comment after the stream ends, we are going to put you into the drawing for next week. And I'm going to be giving away 50K Upix. And then I'm also going to give away a pack for a rip battle. So you don't want to miss that. So pop that in the chat afterwards. All right, let me scroll over to the big screen. There we go. And we'll get this spin wheel started. All right. Go ahead.
I see the problem now. T. Wilk and Shaq cleared it up. So now you buy an item, and it goes straight to your wallet.
Oh.
And then you gotta go.
You can't place
and then you have to go find. No, that was a quality of life update from last week.
Oh,
and
man. I don't like
so
that.
now you can't. Now you can't find it. So it's like, or you gotta go. You gotta go searching for it.
Ooh, I don't like that.
So it solves one problem but creates another.
That's a quality of life foul, in my opinion. Don't like it. All right, here we go. So for the first 10K Upix, the winner is Just Creatine. And I believe, that is Glizzy?
Glizzy, yeah.
All right, the second winner for the 10K Upix, Shacklin.
Shaq.
I don't think Shaq's won something in a while.
She's a winner today.
Yep. All right, congrats. And the last winner for today. Oh, that's got to be a mistake. That one's definitely a mistake. We'll respin that one.
No, no.
No, that one goes to Elslack, the Vulgar Uplander. Congrats. All right. All right, so we have...
Elslack, I will...
Go ahead.
I will pay you... I'm going to pay Elslack his 10,000 Upix. I'm going to pay him 1 Upix per day for the next 10,000 days. That's how you will receive your reward.
Don't spend it all in one place. It'd be like an Upix penny roll.
I might do that too. I'm just gonna like trickle them like 5
awesome.
Upix at a time for like the next.
Can you transfer? Can you transfer 1 Upix? I've never tried it.
I think you can. I think it
What's
comes
the
out as
fee
like
on it?
0.9 Upix. It's still 5%, so on each side. So I think they get 0.9 Upix.
Oh wow, that's crazy. All right, so our winners today were Just Creatine, Shaq, Vulgar, and anyone else that was winning. You guys are all, or anyone else that was watching today, you guys are all winners just for being here in our book. All right. So again, after this stream ends, just comment in there for us and let us know, what your favorite thing is about our Hyde Park community. Do you like the UFC pick'ems? Do you like the football stuff during the season? Do you like the guests that we have on? Do you like KO's background? Do you like my hair? What do you guys like? Just let us know in chat, or if there's things that you'd like to see more of in the future or less of, let us know in chat, and we'll be doing the giveaway for that next week. We'll do 50K UPIX, and then we'll also be giving away a pack for the RIP battle. So we'll have more information and more detailed information coming on that, and we look forward to having Thomas back on for that event and have a little bit of fun there. So definitely hook up with Thomas. You can check him out over at Fanatics. And until then, if you guys have any questions, you know where to find us in the Hyde Park Ninja Discord in the community. So if you are not connected to our Discord, look in the description of this video or any video, and you can get hooked up there and stay in the know. So, KO, anything else to close us out?
No, that was it. Thanks for hanging out, and that was a fun stream today.
Awesome. All right, guys, have a great day, and good luck to everybody that's racing this week. And again, you can join us tomorrow night. I'll be on with Mass Chef, and he's got the show going on for the MRNN tomorrow with Mass Chef and the crew over there. So I think we'll have, who else is on that show?
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Ant-Man?
Monday. Oh, Ant-Man, yeah. How could I forget Ant-Man? So we got Ant-Man, myself, and then Mass Chef kind of heading up everything. So we'll see you guys there tomorrow.
All right. Later, guys.